What is going on, guys? Thanks for checking out this video, my sports Gematria. In this video, we're going to go over some basketball games for Wednesday, April 13th, 2022. I'm going to show you highlights of each side, and it's going to be up to you to determine who you think will win based on the numbers. I encourage you to add additional information on top of this if needed for you to feel confident in your own pick. And I wish you guys the best luck on all your picks today. Let's go ahead and get into the games, shall we? We're going to be looking at Hornets versus the Hawks and Spurs versus the Pelicans in the NBA play-in tournaments. On this side of the screen is what I call my daily numbers, date numerology, Gregorian Hebrew calendar. And then on this side of the screen is what I call my game numbers specific to the game. Where they have it structured here, so I have the road team up top, their coach's record, their season record, their road record, any other notes I want to add. In the middle is the head-to-head record between the two teams all time. And then at the bottom is the home team, their season record, their coach's record, their home record, and any other notes I want to add. I don't have any playoff records for these games just because this isn't officially playoffs. NBA has their regular season, then they have their playoffs, but this is the play-in tournament. So the play-in tournament is going to have their own stats. It doesn't necessarily count towards the playoffs, so that's why I don't have, all-time head-to-head playoff record between the two teams, or I don't have the all-time playoff record for Hornets or the all-time playoff record for the Hawks and their coach, because it's not a playoff game, it's a tournament game. They're grading them different, so that's why I don't have those added. But let's go ahead and just get into it. First, let's talk about yesterday. I had both home teams yesterday, the Nets and the Timberwolves. They went ahead and won. These were not a winner or loser go home games. The loser actually plays the winners for today's games. So basically what you have to ask yourself, Friday is the games. Ask yourself, who does the NBA want to be on television on Friday night for everybody to see heading into the weekend, the playoff weekend? You have the Cavs and the Clippers on Friday night. Does the NBA want the Charlotte Hornets or the Atlanta Hawks on television Friday night against the Cavs? And does the Clippers want, or does the NBA want the Clippers to play the Spurs or the Pelicans on Friday night for television heading into the weekend? I think that's a big question you need to ask yourself when looking at these games. For today anyway, who does the NBA want on television for Friday night? But let's go ahead and get into the first game here. I'll get a bigger screen up for you guys. We'll get the ticker going. 9th place versus 10th place, the Hornets versus the Hawks. All right, so who does the NBA want on Friday night television heading into the weekend playing against the Cleveland Cavaliers? If you know why the Cleveland Cavaliers are playing on Friday night or trying to make it into the playoffs, remember they hosted the All-Star Weekend. Cleveland did. They hosted All-Star Weekend game this year. So it makes sense as to why they want them on Friday night, at the very least. So who are they playing? Are they playing the Hawks or the Hornets on Friday night television? Well, we're going to start with the Hawks first, and then we'll go over some numbers for the Hornets. So let's go ahead and start with the Hawks. If the Hawks are going to win this game, one thing I will say is that the words Atlanta Hawks written out, you write out Atlanta Hawks, it sums to 131, it sums to 32. 131 is the 32nd prime number. They also have sums to 193 and 76. But the Hawks, actually, I probably could have just shown this. So this is going to be the 131st all-time head-to-head matchup between these two teams, the Hawks and the Hornets. Atlanta Hawks 131, the 32nd prime. They also summed to 32. They also summed to 193, the 44th prime number. The Hawks, they can get their 44th win for this season in their 131st all-time head-to-head matchup against the Hornets. Hawks can finish the Hornets 3-2, like 32 head-to-head against for this season. Atlanta Hawks 131, the 32nd prime. They summed to 32 and 193, the 44th prime number. 44th win, 131st all time, 3-2 head-to-head against the Hornets. That would be the main thing that I would say that could favor the Hawks. Some other stuff too would be that this is the Hawks coach's 1,441st all-time game for his career, 1,441. Hawks would get their 44th win, sit on 14 home losses, 1,444. Similar numbers to 1,441. Not exactly the same, not exactly anagrams, but the same numbers are used, the 1 and the 4. The Hawks coach, this is his 139th all-time game as a coach for the Hawks, and the Hawks can get their 69th all-time head-to-head win against Hornets. 69 comes to 139. So that's something else you bring up for the Hornets, or I would bring up for the Hornets to win this game. Oh, not the Hornets, the Hawks, excuse me. The Hornets coach, he could become 148 and 184 all-time for a record with the loss. 148, 184. They're just anagrams of each other. And Hornets, they could become 21-21 for a road record with the loss. 21. That comes to 39 today with 39 date numerology on the Gregorian. But that's what I have for the Hawks. I don't have a lot for these games because their numbers are really close. I mean, either one of these two teams are going to go 44-39, 44-39. So really, any numbers you can connect with the 44 and the 39, or even the 43 and the 40, it goes both ways. So it's really hard. Not a whole lot of numbers to work with. But like I said, the big thing for the Atlanta Hawks would be just their name Gematria. 131, the 32nd prime. 32, 193, the 44th prime. And get their 44th win. 131, go 3-2. Hornets, I suppose you could say the same thing for the Hornets. The Hornets, they can get their 44th win in the 131st all-time head-to-head matchup, and they could become 3-2 head-to-head against the Hawks. Maybe these numbers aren't in favor for the Hawks, but they go against the Hawks. That could be something for the Hornets. Today does have 59 date numerology on the Gregorian. The Hawks coach can get his 59th loss all time for his career as a coach for the Hawks. Today is the 103rd day of the 103rd day of the Gregorian silver. 103 is the 27th prime number. Hawks can simply just sit on 27 home wins with the loss. They would get and then that coach would get his 59th loss to go with. 59 date numerology, the 103rd day, the 27th prime number. Today does have 23 and 39 date numerology on the Gregorian. Hornets, they can get their 22nd win on the road. 22 sums to 39. They sit on 39 losses with the win for the season. They get that 22nd win. And then their coach would sit on 163 losses as a coach for the Hornets with a win. Today with 23 date numerology, 23 sums to 163. And then Hornets would get their 44th win for the season as they get their 4th win in a row. That could be something for the Hornets. So, there's not a whole lot of numbers here. There's a few things you can poke at between the two teams. And then the biggest question, like I said, who does the NBA want to see play on Friday night heading into the weekend? Do they want to see Charlotte or do they want to see Atlanta? But that's what I have for this game. Let's go on to the next one, Pelicans and the Spurs. Pelicans and the Spurs. So the same question: who does the NBA want to see on Friday night? New Orleans or San Antonio? We'll do numbers for both sides. Let's start off with the home team, the Pelicans. Both home teams won yesterday. We'll see if the home teams win today. Pelicans. If the Pelicans were going to win this game, first thing that I would say is today is the 12th day of the Hebrew religious year. Pelicans can get their 37th win for the season. 37 is the 12th prime number. Today is the 103rd day for the Gregorian year. Pelicans can get their 24th all-time head-to-head win against the Spurs. Spurs can get their 24th road loss. 24 written out, sums to 103. This is the year of 2022. Just like that, the year 2022. Pelicans could become 2022 for a home record with a win. It's the 83rd game for the Pelicans, the 83rd game for the Spurs. 83 is the 23rd prime number. Pelicans could become 2-3 head-to-head against the Spurs for the season, like 23 with a win. Pelicans would end their 2-game losing streak. Spurs would get their fourth loss in a row, 4-2-2-4. Again, they can get their 24th loss. This is their 42nd road game. Pelicans can get their 24th all-time head-to-head win. This is their 42nd home game. Or 42nd road, 42nd home. 24th all-time head-to-head. 24th road loss. 24-42 reflections of each other. Pelicans get in their 2-game losing streak with a win, as Spurs get their 4th loss in a row, 2-4-4-2. And I think that's it for the Pelicans, at least what I have. If the Spurs were going to go ahead and win this game, same thing, 83rd game for the Spurs, 83rd game for the Pelicans, 83 the 23rd prime number. Spurs can simply sit on 23 all-time head-to-head losses against the Pelicans with a win. And then Spurs would sit on 23 road losses with a win, as Pelicans get their 23rd home loss for this season. So that 23 can come back and bite the Pelicans in the butt. Actually, we'll just do a light blue on those. We have to also mention that today does have 23 date numerology on the Gregorian. So 23 pattern can go either way for these guys. It can go for Spurs or the Pelicans, as you can see. It goes either way. For the Spurs, though, if the Spurs do win, they would become 4-1 head-to-head against the Pelicans for the season. 4-1, like 41, as the Spurs get their 35th win for this season. 41 comes to 35. They could become 4-1 head-to-head against Pelicans as Spurs get their 35th win for the season. 41, the 35th prime number. Also, 35. Today has 39 date numerology on the Gregorian, and 35 and 39 are identical in all 4 base ciphers. On top of that, we can actually even mark this one a cantaloupe color if we really wanted to, because today is the 12th day of the 8th month on the Hebrew Civil, like 128. Both 35 and 39 sum to 128. And so that could be for the Spurs to pick up that 35th win, go 4-1, 41 sums to 35, and then you can throw in the other stuff as well. And I think that might do it. Get up the screen here. I think that might be it. Hopefully this helps. Hopefully this gives you some insight to the games on both sides. Just a quick overview. Hopefully it adds to something that you already have. Maybe get you started on the decode. Just a quick overview of the game, some insights. I wish you guys the best of luck on all your picks. Hopefully you win all the money in the world. And like I said, just ask yourself the question, Friday night, who does the NBA want to see? Do they want to see the Spurs or the Pelicans? That one's a kind of a tough choice. I think it could go either way, the Spurs or the Pelicans. And then on Friday night, who do they want to see, Hornets or the Hawks? You know, I'm inclined to say they probably want to see the Hawks more than they want to see the Hornets, but just because of last year, and it might be a little bit biased, but last year the Hawks, once the playoffs hit, they were winning everything. They were upsetting everybody. So maybe they do that again, or maybe not as deep, but at least here in the beginning, maybe they get started here in the playoffs in the beginning. But Hornets have some good players too. Well, relatively speaking, pretty even matched as far as records go. Even match as far as records go here as well. So yeah, best of luck to you. Of course, all my picks are in writing, underlined and italicized on Patreon. That's where my picks are always at, no matter what. Always have been, always will be. And yeah, I think that's about it. Yeah, ask yourself who does the NBA want for Friday night against the Clippers and the Cavaliers? What would make for better TV? Thanks, guys.